All right, code number 21 for the GymBed explorations. This is called puppy pose. I'm not sure why it was named that. I mean, I kind of do, but I don't really like the name. Anywho, it's your T-spine mobility slash chest opener. It's a long hold drill, which means that if we need to set ourselves up with props, which may or may not be necessary for you, we are going to take the time to do so, because the long hold poses will be worth it, right? Since we're in that position for 3 to 5 minutes, it's worth the setup. And these poses that require setup, you really just need to do it once. Once you figure it out, the next time, all you have to do is replicate what you did before. And these flexibility related drills, because it's a bit flexibility, bit mobility, will be probably a little while before you can progress through it and have to readjust your props. So point is, one time setup and you're good to go. All right, the puppy pose is, like I said, your T-spine mobility and your chest opener. So we're basically working both sides, okay, front and back at the same time with the same move, but we have a combination of active and passive going on at the same time. This is not as easy as it looks. When you see someone do it correctly, it looks pretty simple, okay? But like I said, there's this element of both active and passive control going on here. So I know I'm just delaying it, and I've got more. You know what? I've got so many different bug bites, and it's probably a combination of being outside for a long time, and also all the cats and dogs and possums and what else that hang out with me outdoors. All right. Who the heck cares? Okay, so puppy pose. We are going to be starting in a quadruped position. That means our knees are going to stack, are going to be underneath the hips, and the hip position and the knee position is pretty much fixed for this entire drill. Okay. The important part is to get our hands out in front, so you could either slide or walk it, so that our upper body starts getting closer and closer until we find that position. Okay, I'm falling off, my hand's gonna fall off a bit. Until we find that position where, with the hands outstretched, with the bum in the same position that we started, okay, we're able to come to a position where we could start dropping the chest, let the weight of the chest drop, and still keep our elbows pretty much elevated, okay? So you don't want to let the whole arm drop here into child's pose, okay? So keep that active arm, and then work on dropping through the chest, but not dropping through the lower back or your stomach. All right, so here's a couple of regressions. The first one is just an option, which I definitely would take, and it's to have something like the edge of a firm pillow, a rolled up towel, a yoga block, etc., to rest your forehead on. If you could get your forehead down and not smash your face, that's a good thing, but that's also going to allow for you to get more passive with the drop of the chest. Okay, so find that arm position, find your forehead position, and then drop. And the drop, again, is through the chest and the T-spine, not the lower back. So if you find that you're arching, correct yourself. Also, with these long hold positions, Because normally I tell you get into a stretch or mobility and just breathe normally for those 2 minutes. For the long hold position, we do want to get into the deeper, slower, longer breathing and really breathing out into expanding fully outward, not only outward to the side, not only up and down with the breath, okay? And while you're sitting there or laying there for that long, with the breath, you also want to figure out what part feels, like it's tight, like it's fighting you, and send your breath, your intake of the breath to there, okay? So this is where you could kind of hang out for 3 to 5 minutes on the way back, okay? And also with the pillow progression, you can also, with the regression would be where you stack the pillow higher for that, okay? So find that position with the arm. And you could also have your pillow horizontal so that you do get some elevation in the arms as well. And then the wider the arms are, the more of a regression it is for you, okay? So that's going to help give you a little bit of support on the arms. You just have to find that position where the edge will also be under the forehead, okay? Okay. To get out of it, slide back into child's pose, okay? You can enjoy that for a while. You can bring the pillow back under your forehead before you get up, all right? So that is the puppy pose, and this is due to the long hold, the active plus passive, and all the stuff that you need to do. It's up to you whether you want to do this in the morning, during the day, at night, as wind down. It really depends on what you have done before and after around the drill, okay? So there's usually a mixture that I do as sort of the flows that I sort of just follow. I mean, I have my favorites, but this is something that I definitely like to mix in. You would come up with whatever 2 or 3 among the many that you see that really feel good to you. That is your first level of your first metric, right? Whatever feels good. After that, we start getting a little bit more in both in knowledge and intuition about what is not feeling good, but is still good for you. Meaning, do we fight the discomfort? Is it something that we need to progress through? Is it something that we need to skip? Is it something we need to work on because we have restrictions or limitations or injuries? Is this something that I'm doing wrong, right? But first, let's go the easiest route, the road of least resistance, right? And just stick to the ones that feel really good. Get 2 or 3 down into a repertoire, a routine, something that you memorize, and then we start leveling up from there. Or if you're like me, you just, forget that you have like 20,000 favorites, and then things will show up when they show up, and you try to incorporate that again. All right, anywho, sorry about the jibber jabber. It's 3 a.m.